Yo, what's up? What's up? It's your man Royce the 5'9".
What's up, y'all? I'm DJ Premier. We are PRhyme. Yes, you're checking out hardknocktv, y'all.
For the PJ, this one is for my lyricist, courtesy of my DJ. I can't control it, can't hold it, it's so nuts.
Hustle hard in any hustle that you pick.
I respect that.
Royce, you stated in another interview, I want people to appreciate the fact we don't compromise in lieu of the environment. Can you elaborate on how you see that environment right now?
Well, I don't see as much of a balance as I would like to see. You know, hip hop is always, you always got your programmed artists, you know, and it's nothing against that, because I was at one point programmed. You know, you get in a position, you don't want to let people down. You start making records and you start making decisions for the wrong reasons. You know, it's almost like a desperate thing, you know, like, or you get to a point where you start feeling like, I gotta do this because I gotta make this amount of money.
Right.
And what artists don't realize is that shit is a distraction. If you're thinking about anything other than making good music, you're being distracted.
Yeah.
You know, and I think as veterans, people who've been around for a while, and we got a platform where people will, you know, a certain amount of people will listen. It's kind of like our jobs to provide. I never want to be one of those people who sit around and complain about the state of hip hop and not be doing something to help change it. You know, and really all we need is a balance. So it's like if you got bullshit music, you got a lot of radio music, you got some stuff that's good on the radio, you got some stuff that's not good on the radio. Then you got the underground, you got the internet. The internet is the new, pretty much underground. Provide that music that's gonna balance everything out. You know what I mean? Like, I got a 16-year-old son. I would like for him to hear everything. I like for him to get a fair shot at being an evolved listener instead of just being programmed to hear one thing.
At the end of the day, I think it is all about balance.
That's it. It's not really about saying your style is whack, this shouldn't be out. Yeah, it's a place for it.
Like Turn Up and Thought is not from my generation, but I know what it is because the younger generation speaks it, and it's still part of our culture. And I don't like when older artists from my age or older than me are like, man, well, that's them young dudes. I ain't, and fuck all that shit. It's like, yeah, but you should still do the research on what's happening with them, so that you know what's going on in the culture. Because if you only stay in pigeonholed into the culture you come from, like, I might play my Melody and Eric B for President all week and never listen to nothing from the new generation that week, but I still know when that record comes on, I know who Young Thug is, I know Childish Gambino is, you know, I know who Migos is, you know what I'm saying? And that Versace is a big record, but even though Drake made a better version, you know, like, and Papoose made a better version, but I know who the originals were, and Versace is old to us because, you know, everybody, Tupac and them were wearing it way back before, and Puff. So, like you said, it's like a cyclic thing where all of a sudden it's 360 degrees of all this coming back. It's just the styles that are out now remind me of the drum machines we use. We used 808 drum machines already and all that that Mantronic stuff and everything. It's just another version of that. It's just not in the style of the you know, era we come from.
Yeah, it's just, not to cut you off, it's the way that the fans these days view music in general. You know what I'm saying? Like, music, I was taught, you know, coming up, the music is supposed to be like a soundtrack to your life. You know what I'm saying? Like, music shouldn't just be made to go to the fucking nightclub. You know what I mean? Like, how many hours are you in the nightclub? Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like, you go there, you listen to music. What are you doing for the rest of the day? A lot of people are listening to music. What you listening to in the car? You turning up in the car? What you listening to while you cleaning the house? What you listening to while you go to the gym? I feel like there should be some good shit for all of those moments. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like, the music issue, like when you watching a movie and somebody score a movie and Black Dynamite come walking in the room, and how that music perfectly fits that scene, that's how one's life should be.
Mm-hmm. And the verdict is in, now that I'm sober, niggas is saying it's over. Couple of niggas had to off them, couple of bitches mad cause I'm off them. Either that or they think that my life is so good, my nights be sunny. Oh, he only been so quiet cause he been spending that lightest money.
You talked a little bit about this album sampling one artist. What was the biggest challenge in doing so?
Just the sonic part of it, you know, with me, and no matter where I get a sample from, you know, it still has to sound like a complete circle when the album's done. Which actually is why this was supposed to be an EP and turned into an album. Royce felt like, yeah, these 5 are dope, but it's still not complete. Let's do another one. And I'm like, no. You know, I was being the whiner. And they're like, nah, we're done. You know, because I had other projects to finish, and I like what we had. And he's like, just one more Preem. And that one turned into another one. I was like, come on, Royce, like another one? Turned into another one. Then we did 2 more. And I was like, and to where I was getting a little miffy, but, you know, he was like, yo, one more and that's it. And all the artists that guested on the album, he didn't tell me who was going to be on it. He said he wanted to surprise me, and we've been saying this in every interview. I don't like surprises. I don't like birthday surprise. I don't like anything. So because it's like if he told me, hey, Schoolboy Q's going to be on this one, it's going to make me go, oh, okay, well then scrap that beat. I got one that's going to go with you and Q. He felt like it went with who he picked. And MC's are real picky like I am with pairing people together, so I know he knows who he got was the right person, which everybody did fit every song for what they came out to be.
Well, let's talk a little bit about the features. It's a pretty feature prominent album, which is something that both of you don't usually do a lot of.
We only have 3 without guests. The rest of it's all guests.
So
I've never done a project like that. Just like with him pulling our Adrian Young samples, it was just something different to do, something inspiring. You know what I'm saying? Like, we mix so many elements. We mix the mixtape element. I feel like a lot of aggressive lyrical MCs kind of abandon whatever the mind frame that they're in when they do mixtapes. They abandon that when they got to make albums. I never understood that. I'm guilty of it. You know what I mean? So I didn't want to do that. I wanted to stay in that mind frame where I'm MCing, where I'm taking it back to where I was when I was going to the Ebony Showcase, when it was just about the bars. It was just about the lyrics. It wasn't even as much about the content. It was more so about my style versus your style. You know, that's when I initially fell in love with hip hop. You know what I'm saying? So I wanted to have that element, and then I wanted everything to be different. I wanted to bring back, like you said, the producer, the DJ, and the MC element with the scratches, the raw scratches and the beats. We wanted to do an up-to-date version of that. And then, you know, have him pull our Adrian Young samples, which is something he's never done. You know what I mean? Me work with one producer, which is something, you know, that I've never done. Features, opening up the door to, you know, working with other people, throwing some people in there that, you know, people have never heard over Premier Track. You know, just a lot of elements just to make it fresh and new.
With Adrian's stuff, I got to sit with Adrian before we even did the first beat, because we had just met, and he was just like, yo, when you did Ain't the Devil Happy with Jay with the Damage, or the way you did this and this, and you took that, and I know you did that from Sun, you know, he's like, and I know you, he totally dissected my shit where it's like, okay, he gets it. So then, you know, he was just talking about how certain artists don't even put his production to the degree of what he could see me doing, instead of just looping things and stuff like that. And I was like, well, a good song is a good song to me. You know, however somebody structures is how they structure it. But that made me start going, well, damn, if that's how he looks at certain things, I got to make sure I come off really unique with his stuff. So he's like, okay, dude went in, and that's why I was real picky about what I could find that didn't sound like his other guitar wailing on this song and this one. And then how do I make his drums, because I didn't take the stems. I took his straight instrumentals with all the instrumentation where I couldn't even take the drums out, and made it my style, and then put my drums on top of it. Like when you hear Courtesy, you can hear it clashing a little bit with my snare on a certain part of it, like on the third bar, but I mean on the second bar, but it just works. You know, it was where I was like, I wouldn't have let this go in other production that I do, but it works, and it just does. So I left it as it is, and then the way he spit to it, I was like, okay, you know, it was a challenge for me just on that level.
Marshall said that I'll be a problem if I get my shit right. That if is probably the biggest if I ever live by, which is why I'm known as an underachiever. I just skip by. I needed to be inebriated to prevent me from getting shot.
What does a Royce M, you know, Primo track sound like? Is that something you guys even reached out, or you just wanted to keep it different from the Bad Meets Evil project?
I felt like people would have expected that. You know what I mean? Like, and this is my first thing that I've done since the joint project with Marshall. You know, it was like I'm coming off of that. You know, so I don't necessarily want to do the expected at this point in my career. You know what I mean? But I do feel like a Royce and Marshall over a PRhyme beat, I do feel like that's something that would be unexpected.
Writer's Block was your beat, right?
Yeah, but that was a remix.
That was a remix.
It already existed.
That's something that would be unexpected, and that's definitely something that's been on my mind. You know what I mean? But I think, I would think, but if if we do that, it has to be vintage PRhyme. It can't be.
Yeah.
It can't be your PRhyme. You got to pull from this. It gotta be vintage PRhyme.
Man, I'll tell you one thing. I just saw him a couple days ago, just on a humble. I was up at Sirius leaving, and he was there and had his PRhyme hoodie on, and he's like, yo, I wear this every day. He said, I rotate them so I can just keep a fresh one on every day, and just that. And he's like, yo, man, he's just, and you can see, and he's looking at me with his eyes just locked on me, just in front of his whole staff with Paul and everybody, just like, yo, what you did to that album, and you could tell the sincerity of it. And he had already told me, because you had played it for him early. I was like, oh, you played it before it was done? I was like, oh, could you wait a minute, and until we're finished? And he was like, yo, he likes it, you know what I'm saying? So I value his opinion. He's another wordsmith. And I told him that too. I said, dude, you're a wordsmith. So I said, with that, you really, really, your opinion counts. Certain people, I don't care what their opinion is. His definitely counts. So, and I'm excited that he's a big cheerleader for it, not just because they're cool with each other. You can tell the project is worth bigging up. You know what I'm saying? It's dope beats, dope rhymes, and Adrian gave us the platform to really, really set up shop.